We're in Vilcabamba in southern Ecuador, and the sun is creeping through the clouds, and we're going to get more and more clouds. We're into the rainy season now, so every couple of days it's raining. My name's Glenn, and this little video presentation is called Old Man, Random Thoughts, and it pretty much describes it. I'm the old man. I'm almost 80. The random thoughts are sort of things that occur to nostalgic or whatever. When you reach those years, you look back on a whole bunch of stuff. One thing about being 20 is you don't really even have 20 years of memory, because a lot of it is from such a deep childhood that it isn't in the context that an adult looks at things. But I've had quite a bit. One of the things I've done consistently in my life from the time I was very young is draw. And I did say the title, Old Man Random Thoughts, and sketches, illustrated. So we're going to throw in a few drawings here and there. It was a bit of an effort to figure out how to do all this. Of course, the camera, the microphone, the software, and also a scanner, a document scanner, actually two of them that I brought down last time I was in the States. And I'm old school. I draw with a pen on paper. I'll tell you quite frankly, any kind of a stylus on any kind of plastic does not have the same feel. And for somebody that has used a stylus, either graphite or an ink pen on paper, there's something. It's hard to describe what it is. The resistance the paper puts up to the pen is called tooth, T-O-O-T-H, and that's part of the muscle memory and the feedback for drawing that way. And my stuff's unique, but it's not. I wouldn't say it was any good. I'm going to throw one up here at some point. We did figure out how to do it with the Top Cut. It's pretty easy. You just bring it in as a still, as a fixed photograph, not a video, and it runs it out for a few seconds, and the voice gets through it, so it works out just fine. So we'll be putting an illustration or two, maybe a three-panel cartoon every once in a while, just to get some of the thoughts across. It is, and it's been my hobby, but I'll tell you, as I get older, it doesn't become more difficult. It becomes less compelling somehow. And I can see how a lot of famous artists changed their style when they got older. It's not that you're not doing what you were doing before, but you found a new way to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that anyway. That's something that artists do, graphic artists certainly, and others. Over time, they change the way they're expressing whatever it is they're getting out of their inner self, and it doesn't have to be a certain way. That's another thought I've had as an old person, that as I appear to lose interest or lose enthusiasm for something, the other thought occurs to me, well, let's see, on the one hand, well, I'm getting old, that happens. On the other one, it is, well, you don't have to do the same thing all the time. You know, you can change up your game a bit, you can try something different. I mean, I did that when I was young. Trouble is, we fall into one way of doing things, all kinds of things, our art, for instance, and we sort of stick with it. And if we're doing it for acclaim or for money or something, we're kind of forced to stick with it, because nobody likes to see a lot of variety, like to see consistency. That's one thing the YouTube gurus say, you know, put it out there and keep it much the same, because you're going to be building an audience of people who want whatever it is you've been doing. So if you start switching on them, one thing to another, you're going to lose some of them, and you're going to sort of derail your train. But that's that popularity thing. Do you do what you want to do, or do you do what's going to be popular? A major quandary for human beings in a society, even for old people. So this was done with the graphic I threw up there, the title. That was thrown up with, that was done with, what kind of a pen? Let's see, I got one right here. Yeah, this one. It's a Pilot G2, 10 units width. What is that? 10 millimeters, 10 thousandths? I don't think it could be 10 millimeters. 10 of something, fairly wide. There it is, right in front of the camera. And typewriter paper, which is now called copier paper. And then I put it in a scanner. I don't know if I can bring that thing up here. But you've seen them, document scanners. They usually sit on top of printers these days. And I scan it, and I bring it into a open source graphics program called GIMP. GIMP runs on Linux or runs on Windows. It might even run on the Apple operating system, I don't know. But I used it on Windows, and I also have a graphics tablet, a Wacom 1, and put it into that. But once again, that's the tips, the plastic tip stylus on a plastic surface, which is somewhat okay. But you know, a mouse does an awful lot of that too, because what you're doing is you're going back in and reinforcing what you did with a physical pen and then scanned into it. So it's kind of like a compromise between what I'm used to and the utility of the new methods. I mean, it's really handy to be able to have a paintbrush that doesn't drip, and that's what you got when you're in a graphics program. And to be able to delineate different regions magically and fill them in with color. So we'll come up with little graphics to sort of enliven the video, if it can use any of that. I suppose it can. Aside from that, lately, I've been having trouble with my back, and it gets, walking isn't as much fun as it used to be. I used to just walk across town, across Vilcabamba, to the grocery store, Mary Soul. She and her husband, Wilson, operate a little, well, not that little mom and pop. Short of a supermarket, but they got a lot of stuff in there. And that's where I buy my eggs and grits and vegetables, bananas, all that sort of stuff. And if I do it weekly, I end up with 30 or 40 pounds of stuff in a maleta, a carry-on bag. And more and more as I approach 80, it's becoming kind of heavy. And that, along with my back problem and walking problem and strength in my legs problem. Anyway, I had the brilliant idea of asking Mary Soul if I could just have an account, a cuenta, and keep the account charged, and then just call in an order, and then a taxi, $1.50, drops it off at the restaurant below my apartment. Charlito said he would take it up, so it sort of eases the physical stuff. I suppose that's what old age is: adaptation, changing your habits, making something work that used to not be a problem at all, but has become a problem. So we're going to do that. But I still need to get out and exercise, and I need to put my back on the floor and roll around like I used to. It's just, the fact of the matter is, that getting on the floor, on a carpet, or on an exercise mat to do that sort of stuff, I have trepidation because it's difficult to get back up. I know it's stereotypical. The old person say, I've fallen and I can't get up. But I can appreciate that now because there's just no strength anymore. I think when I was young, I would spring up. I would go bing, and suddenly I'd be floating in the air, and then I'd be standing. I had about 10 times more strength than I have now. I have only the strength now to say, that's it for this time, and I will see you next time. Hopefully everything will be good for you. Ciao.